think about the way that my life has gone throughout the years. And if you would have asked me when I was 18 years old to sit down and make a list of the things that I would do, the places that I would go, the professions that I would be a part of, it would not look anything like what my life has been like. God blessed my career on the Highway Patrol. I retired realizing that God had called me to be a pastor. My wife and I moved to Colorado, and we lived there while I go to the Nazarene Bible College. Finish up there, go to my first pastorate in Rock Hill. And I'm there for 4 years. Wonderful congregation. We loved them. They loved us. Just made some wonderful friends. And then God led us to Lexington, which is back home for us. And it's just hard for me to believe that I've been here 16 years now. That just doesn't seem like that ought to be the case. Just so many things have happened in such a way I never would have ever thought that it would have been that way. Someone asked me the other day, they said, well, hey, you're closer to 70 than you are 60 now. When do you think you're going to retire? And I told them, I said, well, I just really hadn't given that very much thought. And then someone else said, well, do you think you'll be where you are until you retire? And that's when it made me look back to where I've been. And I said, I'm hoping that that's the case. I said, but I really don't know that, because most of the things that have happened in my life, I didn't have a clue that that's what was getting ready to happen next. And so I would never, ever speculate. Hope, maybe, that this is where I would stay, but I certainly wouldn't speculate. Well, my name is Richard Coleman, and I'm the pastor at Shepherd Church of the Nazarene in Lexington, South Carolina, and it's great to spend just a few moments with you today. We've been looking at James. James is talking to the Christian church. He's trying to give them some simple day-to-day advice. And one of the things that he tells them, he said, don't boast about tomorrow. He said, because you have no idea what tomorrow holds. He says, matter of fact, he said, your entire life is nothing but like a mist or a vapor. It's there, but then it just kind of dissipates and it's gone. And I can see that. I can see that in my life, how things have just gone so quickly, it seems, and so many things have changed, and I never would have pictured it the way it is. I could not have planned it better. I could not have made it so it would have been more enjoyable. I mean, I am very satisfied with how God connected all the dots in my life. James, he goes on and he says, before you go and just say, this is definitely going to happen. In fact, he says, don't say that. In other words, someone will say, where are you going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock? Well, you think you know where you're going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock, but do we really? James says you need to say, if it's the Lord's will, at 3 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to be going to the grocery store. If it's the Lord's will, at 5 o'clock tomorrow, I plan on having dinner with my family. If it's the Lord's will. And James is saying that's an important thing to realize in life, because we just don't know. It's only if it's the Lord's will these things happen. Now, some people feel that it's the attitude that matters. You don't really have to say that. And that probably is the case. But many, many, many years ago when I read that, I thought, there is a lot of truth to that. And I do my best. I'm sure I mess up many times. But usually if I don't say it, it goes through my mind. But if somebody asks me what's going to happen the next day or what I'm going to be doing, I generally will say, if it's the Lord's will, this is where I'll be, or this is what I'll do. Because not only do we not know what tomorrow holds, we also want to be reminded that we want to be in God's will. Because I don't want to be at a place where God doesn't want me to be. So maybe we can keep that in mind as we go throughout this week, and someone comes up and say, hey, where are you going to be tomorrow? Just pause for just a moment and say, well, if it's the Lord's will, this is where I'm going, or this is what I want to do. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you. May you truly walk in the Lord's will this week. Thanks for taking the time and viewing today.